Hey everybody, welcome back to the second edition of Coffee on Kofi. We're here at one of the newest and hottest restaurants on the Oakville scene, and we have the pleasure of sitting across from me is the man behind it. So right now we're at 2051 Winston Park in Oakville at Bo.Vine Burgers and Bar. Umair, if you take a little bit to share with everybody a little about yourself and your journey, what got you here?
Hi everyone, my name is Umair, and I've been in the restaurant for quite some time now. I started working for a company as a dishwasher and moved my way up, and I wanted to create something that was somewhere reasonable pricing and a good, unique concept, and with vibrant cocktails and scratch kitchen, and burgers being my favorite food. And I wanted to do something really good with smash burgers and throw in the Wagyu meat in there, and you know what? That's how Bo.Vine started.
Let's get it. Let's get it. I always tell everybody knows me. My two favorite foods are pizza and then burgers. So the minute I saw this that's what I found, right? I saw you guys on Instagram, and I kept on seeing these burger videos. I was kind of like a calling because I've been trying to make smash burgers at home, and that just, I don't know, pulled me into reaching out and getting this whole thing started because it's something special, looks something new that a lot of different restaurants were doing, and it's pretty awesome that you feel the same way, right? It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. So going from that, what makes Bo.Vine Burgers and Bar a must-visit place here in Oakville?
So the concept is burgers, but we're not just burgers. We have unique items from salmon dashi, braised beef, and kind of shareable appetizers. So everything is kind of like really take on some items that are very key. People look for, but you don't get it at every other restaurant. So you're not all compact together. And that's where the Bo.Vine was like kind of with beef, but you do have the braised beef, the seafood option as well.
Which is exceptional, by the way. Braised beef, excellent.
Exactly. And I think when we brought in, everything had to be, it's never an afterthought. It is something that we take pride of serving. From, vegan options, vegetarian options. We still have some great dishes for vegetarian and vegan options. So it's like, you're going to come in, it doesn't matter, what kind of food you're looking for, you're gonna get everything.
Right. That's awesome. So when it comes with the whole menu, right? You mentioned the braised beef, which I tried, which was awesome. And I've heard that you have a really, really, really good chicken dish too, which is amazing, exceptional. What would you say would be the signature dish that you guys offer?
So aside from burgers, obviously, my go-to, honestly, it's the braised beef. I think it takes quite some time, 48 hours to cook.
So tender.
Exactly. So everybody's like, how is this still so tender and still you see a little bit of like red line? And it's my chef. She's great. She's very talented, and I know her for a long time when she was a host. So
grew together.
Yeah. So
nice.
And she's very, very unique in the sense that she takes so much pride. Sometimes she'll argue with me and everything else, which is something that you want, and she takes so much pride, and she made these dishes what I expected, and asked her, hey, listen, let's come up with these items, and she put some of the items. I was like, okay, let's scale back a little bit. You can't execute so much, but she did. Braised beef is one of those items, and you know what? She's been executing it, and I'm so proud of her.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that, and I've heard your other dishes on the menu too from peers and clients that have come in here. They've said it's exceptional, so I'm really looking forward to see what else you guys will add to the menu down the road too as it goes.
Yeah, I think we're working on some of the items because I think we need to start changing my meal quite frequently because we want to give something new to every guest. On Valentine's Day, we tested some items. We're going to be testing more items in the next couple of weeks moving forward. So, we want to have menus ready before Mother's Day and then launch a fresh new menu.
Cool.
So looking forward to it.
Looking forward to try it.
Exactly. And my business partner, Rob, he's working on different cocktails. So
Yeah.
because obviously we wanted to be, that was the part of the rest of the concept is you're going to get craft cocktails too. Elegant. You don't have to go drive downtown. You don't have to go to a lot of places.
Right.
In Oakville already, we have some great places that you can go for cocktails, and Bo.Vine is one of them.
I like it you touched that. And it also, you want, when it comes with Oakville, there's, restaurants per se, more towards downtown, near the water, etc. Here we're a little bit, up QE, we're located right now.
Exactly.
And it's kind of a unique spot. And what I want to ask is, what makes this place so special and for people to come in and enjoy, right?
So it is more like an entertainment center, right? People come in for dining. The movie's right across from us. Literally you just walk out the door, you go to the movies. So the whole thing was like, you want to grab a quick bite, go to the movies, great. So most of the time people are rushing to get to the movies. It's like going to a concert, sometimes you run late or, so it was like, you grab a quick bite, no problem. We'll try to execute as fast as possible, and you get your movie.
Yeah.
After movie, you want to grab a late night cocktail, or just lounge around the bar, have a little shareable appetizer, and have some cocktails. So that was the whole concept behind it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, and this is a great location. I have another restaurant in the same plaza, so it's made it so much easier, so I can execute
The game plan.
Yeah. And it's easy for me to kind of navigate myself and focus on this area.
Right. As you said that, it's a dynamic area, right? Location. You have the movie theater, you have Dave & Buster's. So I assume, and what I've noticed when I've been here is, you see quite a big of demographic, to say the least, right? You see, families come here for dinner. You see individuals on dates. You see individuals, friends, at the bar having a nice cocktail. And your cocktails are amazing, by the way, right? And it's very a variety of different choices, which is pretty awesome. And it adds to that overall conception with the restaurant and how it delivers that overall experience, right? The ambiance, this looks incredible. What was the thought process between the decor pieces and styles?
So decor, I wanted to kind of create something, looked around my vision. My business partner, Rob, he's behind the brains behind the cocktails and drinks. So, and putting both our thoughts together and say, okay, what do we want to execute? The design from, the bar counter had to be unique, green marble, I wanted to incorporate green in part of that.
Okay.
And then, it's so many thought process going in. Okay, we got to pick this. So, and him and I have different, everybody has a different opinion and everything else. But at the end, we're so proud of the design that we came up with. And the execution's been great. Yeah. So, it's hard to say that, what happened, because there's always competitions. There's a lot of things. But at the end, we were both of us looked at it when it was finished product. We were like, that's pretty good. I think we did great.
Yeah, at least.
And Rob always argues the stone part before. He goes, "What does it cost? What is this? What is this?" I said, "Listen, this is something that I want." And he's got some takes. I got some takes on it. I want to take this.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure the last build that came up at the end of the construction, and he goes, "Are you kidding me?" He's like,
quite the compromise.
This is why you didn't want to tell me this.
Oh man, that's quite the compromise to say
but
the least, right?
You know what? Him and I are worked great together.
Yeah.
So I think it's more fun. So it was actually pretty good.
That's awesome. And it's cool that you and Rob have that close partnership and have the same dreams and goals ahead, right? And helps navigate the ship accordingly, right? And a place like this, and helps really develop, and that message is shown to the customers that come in here, right? And they all have a great experience. Service is incredible. All the waiters here are top notch and really pay close attention and detail, of the service that they're giving, and it goes to tell with the heads at the ship, right? And the management direction.
I honestly, I'll have to give the credit to Rob, because I do the, to food part and everything else, but he's built that team, right? Some staff I brought in from the kitchen from my other restaurant, and also some of the other senior staff are here. They've been worked for me for a long time, but Rob put them all together, and I think him and I both work in a sense that it's got to be a family. It's got to be really good, close family, from my manager Ariel to everybody. They complete the team really well. We respect each other, and we have fun. You know, sometimes there's stressful times on Fridays and Saturdays, but at the end we all look at each other and say, "Hey, it was a great day." It was, at the end of the shift, we sit and okay, we could have done this, we could have done this, but I think team, if you have to let them know if they made a mistake, but you have to do it in a respectful manner.
Absolutely.
I think, and then employees look at that, they see it, and they acknowledge it. So, and I think I have to say our employees already know that everybody that walks in these doors, we have to give them the service, not 50%, not 20%, 110, 140%. So you got to make sure, treat them they're like the only table in the whole restaurant.
Yeah.
And I think I'm so proud of my team. Rob is too, and I think we work great.
It shows. Yeah, it shows with the overall customer experience, right? It ties everything all together, which is awesome.
Exactly.
And I like how you touched with your inner team here in the restaurant, but also you also touched with the area, and I feel Bo.Vine Burgers and Bar really complements what's around it, right? With Dave & Buster's, with the movie theater. With that being said, how do you feel kind of local businesses in Oakville here complement each other? And is there any sort of positive reinforcement when it comes to local businesses in the area?
So I think it's everybody has to work together as a group, right? I think if there was no movie theater, not many people would be coming in, but then you have to have a really good culinary experience as well.
Right.
People need to come in and say, you know what, I might not just go to the movie. I'm just going to, any of the restaurants in this neighborhood to go in.
Yeah.
And sometimes I see people just walking around and saying, okay, maybe I'll just go to this restaurant. I'll go to this restaurant. And so it's everybody has to complement together.
Absolutely.
And the price points matter, right? People look at it as, okay, maybe I'll just, today we're going to go here. We're going to go here based on the pricing as well. And so at Dave & Buster's, you're going to Dave & Buster's, everybody has to come together because, and great areas are, with great people. And we have a great neighborhood, and our community needs to be strong when it comes to this. So,
what's the most rewarding aspect of owning a restaurant?
Rewarding? Oh my God! Other than the financial part, but I think it's more of meeting new people.
Okay.
I think you'll be surprised, man. It's actually fun.
Yeah.
You get to know them. There's people from states coming in, visiting, staying at the hotel. You they sit at the bar, you chat with them, get to know them. I think it's very, very fun, and at the end, in some way, you kind of bond with them, and then they come back to you. They come back after. Yeah. And I think other restaurant experience they had and everything else, and then it gives you hey, maybe these are some new tools that we can implement into our restaurant. So I think definitely the social aspect of it is the most, rewarding and fun, I would say. Yeah. So, but you always learn something new. Some guests talked about cocktail, and Rob was right there, and I'm like, the guest was asking me a question. I'm like, I might not know, but let me get Rob for you. So it's just Rob gets in, he talks about those cocktails, and compliment each other. And Rob is coming up with a drink from that. So it's like you learn, So this is coming next couple of weeks. Rob is going to be, making a drink that's some of the guests mentioned.
Wow.
And I'll keep that as a secret.
Yeah. Absolutely. Wow. That's incredible how we kind of bounce ideas,
exactly.
Right? And to your point, right? Because the business that I'm in real estate, and the name of the game is obviously you want to meet new people, right? And it's a fine line when it comes to meeting that new person and then building that relationship going forward, which kind of coincides with our line of work. It's you want to make sure that you are meeting obviously new people, but building those relationships through customer care and providing that excellent service so that they remember the experience that you had with you. And I think you and your staff do a good job to push that effort forward, right? As going on too, and you've been in the Oakville restaurant scene for some time now, where do you think now the direction it's going in terms of what type of, like, let's say, cultural aspect do you think it's changing in terms of the expectation of a restaurant here? Or
I think the consumer base is like very, I wouldn't say picky, but I think now they know what they want.
Perfect. Yeah.
And I think it put in restaurants into a check, like, hey, listen, you can't be, undercutting or things. You're going to provide good quality food.
Absolutely.
And I think the consumer with Food Network shows and everything else, I think the education part has gone up so much that everybody knows, okay, what's a good quality food is, right? When you're looking at a Wagyu smash burger, compared to their smash burger, they're great, but you're going to get different flavors, different profiles. So I think that our guests experience see that they know what the value they're getting, and for the price point, because at the end it's what you put on the plate from them. If you're kind of cutting corners and everything else, the guests will see that. And it can resonate into the plate and to anything else. Like our cocktails, we take pride of them. We batch our cocktails, we make our cocktails from scratch, syrups and everything else. So it shows. And if you're buying pre-made or stuff like that, you'll know the difference. Sweetness level will be higher or lower, whatever it is. So you got to make sure you provide the best quality food.
And it's good you touched on that, because I know you guys pride yourselves on the Wagyu smash burger. Do you want to kind of touch a little bit how that differs?
So it's more of a flavor profile and the marbling and the meat and everything else. So I think the meat that we're getting is Australian Wagyu. So it's not Japanese Wagyu. And a lot of people think, okay, how are you getting Japanese Wagyu for this? But they're all different types of grade meats. So our thing is, we're going to use Australian Wagyu. Price points are reasonable, and you're going to get a lot more flavor out of, you're getting your normal beef. So the fat content is very definitely the biggest component. The burgers are more juicier. And there is, a little bit of taste profile as well. But at the end, you're going to know the difference. Exactly. You put two and two together, okay, what is great value or not. So that's how, I think you're going to have to come in to try it to know the difference.
Exactly. It's incredible. You really feel it with the texture, the juiciness, and it's really filling, and it's really, really awesome too, right? So
and then the whole thing is we don't want to overwhelm with all different flavors. The sauce can be too much of an overpowering. The burger bun, the bun has to be kind of not too overpowering as well. So it's everything kind of goes together, and that's where we would kind of. So you want the signature to be the Wagyu meat.
It's like a science.
Exactly.
That's awesome. Alrighty, last question before we wrap this awesome discussion up. It's been a pleasure. But if there's one thing that you wish more people understood about running a restaurant, what would you say?
I think it's running a restaurant is very, very, it's not an easy task, obviously. It's a lot of challenges, day-to-day operation. Obviously, with the economy right now and everything else, it makes a big difference. It's stressful times sometimes. I would say after the COVID coming out and everything else, you got to be committed. You can't say today is a bad day or tomorrow is a bad day. You have to look at it as a whole month being a bad or good. So definitely it's a 7 days job. There could be something happening in the restaurant. You're always, as an owner, you're always in a phone call. It's I would say it's like nonstop work. But I think at the end, when you see it on a Saturday night, all comes together. You know, when you have a great restaurant's busy, everybody's great, having a great time, and you're like, okay, that's what it was worth for.
Yeah.
So, you know, some days you look at it, it's like, okay, what am I doing this for? What am I doing? Why am I slaving 7 days? Anything else? But
it's rewarding.
At the end, it's like you're working 7 days nonstop, morning, night. A phone call happens, something happened, alarm's going off. You run to work, everything's fine, but then you go back home and it's like, okay, why am I doing this? And then Saturday night you had a crazy rush and everybody had a great time, and you know, having a cocktail at the end of the night. And you're like, okay, well, you know what? It's actually worth it.
This is what it's for.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah. That's awesome. And I only imagine with the team that you have, it means that much more too, right?
I think most of people know how difficult it is. But I think running a restaurant is not about being on the floor, being anything else. It's got to be every aspect of the kitchen, aspect of service and everything else. You know, some days you might have to go wash the dishes. You might have to jump on, help the kitchen staff, everything else. You know, something you run out of something and your guest is like expecting it, and you're trying to find all these ways to make sure you make sure that plate goes out and it goes out great, and the cocktail goes out great. So you have to make sure. Sometimes, you know, sometimes we have to run to a grocery store to come back. So as an owner, you have to be on top, and you have to wear so many hats. You have to be a host sometime. You know, somebody felt sick, can't come in. You gotta be helping in the kitchen. So running a restaurant, it's a 7 days non-starter. You got to be working, and you know, there's always challenges come in. Something break here. So sometimes you got to be a handyman. You know, so you gotta
multi-purpose.
Exactly. So running a restaurant, I think it's at the end of the day, it becomes it's worth it, and it's more fun, and challenging at the same time.
Yes. All good things come with a little bit of challenge, right? And it's all more rewarding with the team and staff that you get to share all that with, right? So, and it reflects with the customers that come in, like I said, and it really embodies, I guess, what your message is to the people in Oakville and, you know, the customers that come into the restaurant.
Yeah.
Awesome. So I know that was the last question, but we're going to switch a little bit of gears. I'm going to ask you a couple more questions, and I just want you to answer with the first thing that comes to mind, all right?
Oh, God.
So if Oakville had a signature dish, what would that signature dish be?
Aside from burgers, I'm sorry.
Of course. Maybe pizza?
You know what? Burgers. It's something that we're working on. I think the beef ribs. We're working on something like that.
We're good?
I think that's something I would say it'd be a signature item.
Yeah, there we go. Now, if Oakville was a cocktail, now the whole town is a cocktail, what would that cocktail be named or be?
Well, old fashioned.
Hey, there we go. Old fashioned. That's my wife's favorite. That's perfect. What are 3 words to describe Oakville?
Oakville, community.
Yep.
You know, unity.
Yep.
And experience.
Perfect. I like that. It's true. It's really true. Community, unity, and experience. I love it. The perfect welcome to Oakville day. Where would you eat, drink, and explore?
Of course, one of my restaurants, either Baton Rouge or Bo.Vine right here. You can't miss that. Drink, if I'm having a burger, I'll definitely have a Guinness.
Perfect. Yep.
And anything else, maybe be a cocktail. It'd be, you know, not your typical amaretto sour.
Yeah. Okay. Sophisticated.
And
explore.
Anything around golf.
Yeah, you're a golfer. Nice. I've been trying to play for years. I had a good friend of mine. He actually just had his baby last year, and we were like golfing buddies. During COVID, we got into it a little bit and actually began to be pretty good. But it's a sport. You guys got to get into it, right?
Yeah, I know, exactly. I got in 3-4 years ago, and then since then, I'm like, okay, summer's here. That's
awesome. Daily, we got to get back on the greens this summer, buddy. We got to get in there. Last question. What's the one thing that people don't know about Oakville?
What they don't know about Oakville? I think the food aspect. I think Oakville has stepped up
Yeah.
I think
so too.
now you're not running to downtown for a good cocktails or a good meal and anything else. I think Oakville has so many restaurants, great restaurant, great operators.
Yeah.
And they offer great food. I think Oakville should not be undermined.
There we go. There we go. You heard it from Umair. Oakville should not be undermined. It has an awesome food scene, and stuff like the Taste of Oakville really explores that avenue that we just had. And I'm so happy that we had the opportunity to touch on this new restaurant that you've started, and share it, and hope everybody gets the opportunity to come in and check it out. For the conclusion, Coffee on Kofi, edition number 2. You already know what it is. Check it out. Umair Zia, thank you for your time.
No, thank you. Thanks for having me.
And until next time, guys, let's get it.